totally get it.
Why? Why?
No notification yet.
We are sharing this live. I'm Carla from Around Town TV. The show starts shortly.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, you got yours shared?
What?
She's sharing. We're all sharing. We're going. We're live, ladies.
You're live.
Awesome. I'm working on it. I just tried to get.
I don't know what live means.
We are on right now.
Facebook notice.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just trying to share it.
Oh, they're so cute.
It's like magic.
Millie's watching.
Aww.
Hi, Millie.
Hi, Millie.
Why does it say
Thank you for tuning
Tornstrom
in.
Auditorium though? It says you're
Chad
in
is
Brainerd.
watching.
I changed it.
We're in Brainerd.
We're in Brainerd apparently.
I can change that, so I will change it again. I'm actually going to go in right now.
That's all right. That's where you were, right? So it's totally
it was,
fair.
but I
right?
had it at the Hannaful Performance.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, we are not at the Tornstum. We are at. So I'm not sure why it is saying that. We are actually at the Hannaful. Do we have it all shared? Yeah.
I think so. I was just going to share.
Just
Yes, you tagged me, so life is good. All right.
All right. I'm gonna just
I
go
think
to
I
my
got
page.
it shared.
We're just gonna sit here.
We're just sitting here sharing stuff, guys. Just be patient. Yeah. Welcome to Facebook.
Oh, who's already commented? Let's see.
Ooh, who's commenting?
We had
Hi,
some-
friends.
Oh, Vic Schaefer. Hi, ciao, he says. Brenda, thank you for tuning in. It stayed on so far.
We'll give shout outs if you comment.
Right, we will.
For real, we will. We will shout out.
So, for those wondering, well, what are those four gals doing? Sitting, talking, whatever. My name is Around. There you go. My name is Carla Berlin from Around Town TV, and I am so excited because tonight we are live from the new Hannaful Performing Arts Center.
Woo!
Woohoo!
We're so excited
So
to be here,
thrilled
y'all.
to be here because it's also the home of our Children's Performing Arts Organization, and I am on the board. Many of you have known. I'll post things about it, and we'll get into how I got involved there too. But I'm really excited to have on the show some of our board. We have Sharon Hannafel
Hello.
Lee, who is also what's your exact title again?
Board chair.
Board chair, and then we have our executive director, Carrie Bullion.
Yes.
And then we have our marketing and business development, or just
Coordinator.
Melissa Niederkorn. And the reason it sounds like I'm struggling with the different titles because they really do a lot more. They do everything. Yeah. And for all of the children. And for those of you who are like, well, maybe I've heard about Children's Performing Arts, or you've seen a post. If you're wondering who and what we are, we're in Wiper Lake. We are not in Brainerd. That was from this last weekend, and I actually did tag here, and it
Crazy.
whatever. That's one thing about Facebook, it has a mind of its own. So we are going to get into a little bit more of what Children's Performing Arts is, a little bit about the history and background. It is such an amazing organization, and I'm so impressed and I'm so proud to be a part of it. So maybe what I'll start with is just the simple question of, what is Children's Performing Arts?
Well, Children's Performing Arts is a educational leadership program through the performing arts. And we typically in the past, we've been kindergarten through 6th grade, but now we actually go through high school.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's a newer change for you, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we're actually in a couple months, we're actually next week, we're going to be starting our upper level musical, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
You can still try out and register.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some tryouts on the 24th, so
And
if
that's
you're interested.
5th grade through high school.
Yep.
Wow.
But then they also have the chorus is 1st through 6th grade. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm going to just stop for a second. I want to say hello to everybody tuning in, from Buffy to John, Sheila, Jim, Allison, Chad, Stephanie, Greg, and Joe. Brenda, Jindra, she was with me this weekend and up in Brainerd when it stopped. And I'm on hit play and it stopped.
No.
And I got this look from all of them. The red light went to blue. Usually, you know, the red is a bad light. It's always a good light in TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That means things are working.
and John Nestler, hello back to you as well. So another question or another thing that people don't understand is Children's Performing Arts Center is nothing, I shouldn't say nothing, it's not your typical theater or children's company. It has a lot of unique things, including inclusion. Do you want to touch on that? Carrie,
I can take this one. Yeah, we include everyone, so anyone who registers for a program is accepted, and also at different skill levels. So a big part of the mission of CPA, Children's Performing Arts, yeah, that's our acronym, not the personal accounts, is that, you know, every role in a production is important. So even if you are, you know, in the chorus, we try to create a really special role, and it's at all age or all abilities, all skill levels. If there's children with learning disabilities, we really try to include everyone and give them something special.
So for example, my daughter was a lead in the show, where my son, he was super excited to be an animal control officer, where he got to shoot Nerf guns at the lead characters. How much more fun for an 11-year-old boy?
I would love that, to have that opportunity.
But the cool thing about it is that the directors and the choreographers and the music teachers and everybody that's involved, they really find what's going to work for the child, because you don't want to put somebody in a lead role and have them fail.
Right.
Because that would be detrimental to their development as human beings, as they go through life. We want to make it where we push them just enough where they feel proud of themselves. They exceed. They're able to have confidence in who they are. And that's really what Children's Performing Arts is all about, is giving it back to the kids so they're confident and they're leaders in our community.
Well, and that's one of the things that I love about Children's Performing Arts is the self-confidence that it does instill. For those of you who have seen me post Children's Performing Arts, I am a proud board member, but this is kind of how it all happened. White Bear Lake was where I took baton lessons since I was a little girl, and this was my talent in the Miss America program and other talent competitions that helped me finance my education, which allowed me to launch my television career, and it changed my whole life, which is what brought me back to hopefully impacting other young children, both boys and girls, and giving them that opportunity as well. So it's just so exciting for me to be on with my girlfriends and board members and with people that are with the same core values and what you're trying to accomplish as well. And all three of you have children in Children's Performing Arts, so you firsthand get to see it. I do not, but there's a reason I drive an hour each way to be a part of this, because when they were talking about the various levels, and we'll get into some of the different programs, but one of the things I'm most impressed with is when you hear about the whole inclusion, and you automatically think, oh, well, maybe then it's just, you know, because they let everybody in, that it might not be top-notch. Not only is it top-notch performances, you can see by the pictures, you know, the costumes are like
Amazing.
oh yes, outstanding. And now we're in this amazing new Hannaford Performing Arts Center, and I can't tell you, it's just surreal to be in here. And we are going to be back here in about a month. We'll talk more about that and some of the shows, but for those who are like, okay, Children's Performing Arts, what types of programming does that entail?
We're doing a lot of different things.
Yes.
You know, we used to do one show a year and one camp. And now we're adding classes, workshops, which are typically like one day. You might come in for 2 to 5 hours or maybe 8, and at the end of the day have something to show for your work. We're going to have classes, which we'll meet a few different times. It might be related to a specific skill, or we're going to do a graphic design class. We're going to do a mixed media, doing different kind of sound recording and things like that. So trying to teach different skills related to
Everything's
theater.
registering now. Go check it out on our website.
It's
All
on
the stuff
our
we're talking about
yes.
is ready.
And then we're going to do camps, and then we'll do our regular production. So camps are a mini production, and our productions are bigger, full-scale shows like you've seen with Madagascar.
So right now people are signing up for
Joseph in
Okay.
Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is the first thing starting.
Yeah.
That's starting at the end of the month.
Okay.
But we're registering for all our summer programming right now, so there's a lot of opportunities.
a lot of. And so talk about a little bit about what the summer programming entails.
you have cheat sheets, so do you want to answer that?
Well,
there's so many things.
Yeah, there's
it's
so
hard to
many
keep track.
things we have to totally have a cheat sheet.
Oh,
cheat
okay,
sheet.
yeah.
First things first, with Joseph, we're super excited because it's our first upper level musical.
And our first one here.
And our first one here.
In the-
So, and we're
the-
so excited to do Joseph. It's such a fun show, and we're really hoping we can create opportunities for kids to be in that show that maybe wouldn't have the opportunity to normally be in that show, because it's, you know, a high level show.
Right.
And in community theater, you try out and you kind of either make it or you don't. So we're hoping to have a lot of kids that want to do that. We have a day of musical theater workshop, so if you want to have a taste of what we do, that's actually going to be on April 14th, which is also a soft open here at the theater, so you can come and see and check out lots of different things here. We'll post more about that. We have that graphic design for theater class, super fun, kind of different. It's going to be about selling a show, so for kids that maybe aren't, you know, want to be thespians, want to be actors, it gives you a whole different skill set, you know, to kind of sell a show. We're really super excited to do some original works. Yes. And they're going to be based on some books, and we have been working with the authors and with some different directors. One that's registering right now is The Rough Face Girl, which is kind of based on, like, it's Cinderella, but Native American Cinderella. So it's a very relatable story, but in kind of a different, unique context. So that should be fun.
And that's a summer camp.
That's a summer camp.
That's a summer camp.
Yep,
Okay.
that's a summer original. And then we have our Frog and Toad summer camp, which we're super excited. It's just a fun show.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. Everyone knows Frog and Toad. There's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yes.
And yeah, it's super fun, you guys. You should check it out. There's going to be a morning and an afternoon session based on age, and then they all perform together. So that's another thing we try to do that's unique, is, you know, all the ages can perform together, and we can focus on like this group and that group, and then everybody works with each other.
Well, what if somebody has never been in theater or never taken
Yeah.
a lesson, and then they're a little apprehensive, but they are interested?
They can totally sign up. What's nice about being in this space is that we can offer like the day of musical theater workshop. You can come check us out and see if it's a good fit. But if you want to sign up for a summer camp, like, it is not a pressured situation. I can say from having my daughter in the program and seeing so many kids in the program, the directors are amazing at finding something for everybody.
See.
Like, there is a role for you, and it is not pressured at all. It is how to make them grow.
Any child who registered gets a part.
Yeah, it's a part.
But not just that, they feel like they're part of
Yes.
the production.
Right.
It doesn't
That's the
matter.
It's an
concept.
important part. It's
Yes.
not-
They feel special, they're proud of
Yes.
it. So if you're watching this and you're interested but you're not sure and you want to ask a question, feel free to ask a question or share an experience if you've been a
Yeah.
part of children's performing arts. Also, if you know somebody, because we're in White Bear Lake, so we tend to say, okay, the northern suburbs, the northeastern suburbs, Minneapolis, something that's a little bit easier to get to. I can say, even when I leave at 4 o'clock, I can do pretty well unless there's a snowstorm. So, yeah, so you could still
But
get
there
over
won't
here.
be snowstorms in the summer.
No.
No snowstorms in
And
the summer.
we're located
Wait,
right
yeah,
off of
not gonna-
61.
Yeah, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We are in Minnesota.
Right off of 61. So
right
it's
off of
super
61
accessible.
in downtown White Bear Lake, right across from Rudy's.
Yes, right across
Yes,
from Rudy's.
the Hannaford Performing Arts Center faces Rudy's, which is the new home. If you are just tuning in, my name is Carla Berlin with Around Town TV. We are live tonight from the new Hannaford Performing Arts Center in downtown White Bear Lake. And I am lucky enough to have some of my board with me. We have Sharon Hannaford Lee, Carrie Bullion, and Melissa Niederkorn, all part of the board, all core people that really make this happen. They work tirelessly, numerous hours to help make these students be able to flourish, learn, be educated, leaders. If you know of a student that you think maybe just isn't fitting in school, isn't finding their way, whether it's a learning disability, perhaps it's they're just not into sports, maybe this is where they need to be. Maybe tag someone in the comments to have them watch this, because when we're done, this will be posted. It might be an opportunity. If you're not comfortable asking a question here, please private message one of us, because we will get back to you and we will make sure. I just have to say a quick shout out to, again, Brenda's watching. We kind of like did a little where it was interrupted and came back. Bruce Harris, Larry, Sarah, Jeff, Gabe, Bob, Douglas, Susan, Jennifer. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. We're talking children's performing arts and we're bringing it to you from the new Hannaford Performing Arts Center. We were talking about what it is. We're getting into some of the different categories of what you offer, I should say, classes, from show choirs to the other different activities that you can
That's what I
participate.
didn't mention. Show
Oh,
choir.
show
Show choir is ongoing, so that's awesome. It's like
Three sessions a year.
3 sessions a year.
Okay, and what do they do?
And you can do
Talk
one or
about
all of them.
that. Okay.
It's basically kind of like production numbers one after the other. So we have
The fun part of theater.
Anybody who
Dancing.
remembers Glee?
Oh,
There's
yes.
a lot of that happening.
That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, and for somebody, I know we have a lot of different missions and goals, but overall, when you all decided to make this your new home, what is the future of Children's Performing Arts? What is all of your goals, both personally and then, of course, as a board, maybe? Wanted to chime in.
Well, personally, as a mom, all 3 of my kids are in children's performing arts in some way or the other. My oldest daughter, she came to me when she was 7 years old and says, I want to be a model. Okay, what does that mean?
Right.
And so I looked around and I came across children's performing arts and I said, oh, it's local, great. And so we got involved and she was in, her first production was Jungle Book, and she was a ladybug. That was the part she wanted. She basically told the director, that's what I want to be. And that's what she was, and she didn't know she wasn't a lead. She thought she was a lead. And every performance, no matter where she was on stage or where she was supposed to be on stage, she would push her way to the front of the stage, plant herself in front of the microphone and sing her little heart out. And at that time, at 7 years old, her pitch
it was about volume.
Yes, she was the loudest kid on that stage. So she's one person, but then my other children, they have different personalities, but they have all found their home and their niche. And my daughter's a competitive gymnast, so they can do both, and they can do. It's just a great thing. I don't even know where you started, what the question was.
No, you were answering it, just sharing, a little bit about where your future, what your goals are. But you're sharing some really good stories too, and I know you personally being. Just kind of the head of the board, you get a lot of these letters and these stories that sometimes, unless she shares them with us, we don't know. And I appreciate that because the impact of what we're doing and the hours that we put into it, it really makes it worth it. But kind of just at the future, where you see the vision of this going.
Well, the idea. So what I was going to say is that my daughter loved theater so much that we. Traveling is hard with other kids, and being a local theater program that includes everybody is so valuable because there's a need, there's a demand anywhere we go. All classes fill up here and there. It's hard to get into them if you don't register right away. And so I see us hopefully being the place where kids can go and learn and grow and become leaders and communities of our. Be part of the community that they live in and give back.
And I would add too that we really focus on making sure they get the acting experience, the singing experience, the dancing experience, or if they would rather paint and do props and sets or learn how to do tech or whatever. We have kids that do costumes, we have kids that help teach. We give opportunities for everything that is involved with creating a theater production.
And that's huge.
Every kid has something in them. Every kid has a spark. You just have to figure out what it is. I shared with you an email that I got from a mom thanking me because their son just didn't fit in, and he said, I don't want to be alive anymore. I don't want to live anymore. And then he came to Children's Performing Arts, and he blossomed. His mom said he found his where he was supposed to be. The tribe.
Yeah, and I've always said that. Like, my daughter was not really she tried sports and she tried a lot of stuff. And then when we first got involved with Children's Performing Arts, I thought, this should probably be, it's like something fun. But really, it's amazing to watch all these kids who are included. Like, oh, this is my tribe. Like, these are the people that understand.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can also be like my oldest daughter, who is a theater nut, is a competitive gymnast.
Exactly.
She's an athlete.
Right. Yes.
So
exactly.
it really it's a very inclusive group, a community that we have.
Well, you see, whether they're in band or they're in sports or schools, or if there's somebody who struggles with a learning disability, they all come together in Children's Performing Arts. And it's important that a child learns teamwork and leadership and cognitive skills, and you might not always be able to get that if they're not an athlete. Then they're going to feel bad about themselves, but they'll fit in here. They'll be able to learn that, or maybe it's band, or bringing that performing skills. Not everybody. I get laughed at, and oh, you were one of those. You were one of those.
Yeah.
That's not a real sport.
No, that's not a real sport. And actually, and Melissa was just saying, I posted a picture on Facebook of my trophies, and she was like, that was like crazy.
It was a crazy amount of trophies, you
Yes.
guys.
Like, I got in trouble. I trained. I felt good about myself. And what most people don't know, because they see the majorette marching down the street, it takes more out of the competitive twirler to do a 1-minute routine than it takes the Olympic runner to run the mile. I believe it. The advanced routine, I should say. And so, but nobody knows that, and most people don't care. But when you're in twirling, it's the same thing. It's the tribe. So that's where the whole performing arts thing has taught me, and it's one of the reasons I like to give back here. And do you have any special stories about your daughter and her experiences?
She just, like that really is her experience. But for me, the reason that I got so much more involved was, not only because of her, but because of all the stories like Sharon shared. I mean, one of our students, some of them start and they're super shy and all they want to do is stand in the back, and you watch them over a couple of years, and next thing you know, they're like, oh, maybe I'll try out for something else, maybe I'll audition, maybe I'll be more, and it's crazy to watch how these kids blossom.
Right.
And the other component that really I found attractive is that our mission is to be more involved in the community. So we'll take groups of kids out to like senior living homes and to perform in the community. So they get a sense that, your piece of the jigsaw puzzle doesn't just be limited to theater. Like, even if you're just a member of the chorus, you're very important to that production.
Right.
But also, if you can touch one person, like at a senior living home who just hasn't seen something, that to me was like such a big deal.
And the kids, the cool thing, they don't just perform, they go up and they shake
they shake
senior
hands,
citizens'
they
hands and say
introduce
thank you,
themselves.
and they learn how to present themselves in public and to adults. They're not on their iPad.
Nope.
Like
They're,
me.
but I mean, seriously, they're out. They learn what a performance is. That it's live. It goes on. If you trip and fall, or your chimney falls off your head, as happened in Alice, you learn how to deal with life and how to deal with things that
and
go wrong.
disappointment of nothing's going to be perfect.
No.
How do you pick up? When I was in Brainerd, emceeing this past weekend, and I brought my live streaming, which is my Mevo, which is on right now, doing this. And literally, because I was on stage, I had to do one shot and hit play. And when it went off, I'm like, okay, how can I figure this out? So I'm being professional. I can slip down, and we had this incredible performer that I knew no one would even look away, because she's a former Miss Minnesota and just was outstanding. So when she came on and I introduced her, I was able to sneak down and quick fix it, but I actually did make a joke of it.
Yeah.
But it's from my performing days, from things happening, baton being dropped and things like that, that I was able to do that.
Well, and isn't that a metaphor for life?
Yes.
I mean, we all have stuff. It does
Right.
not go. I mean, even
Right.
talking now, it's like, oh, I wish I could have said. Stuff just comes up, and you just have to keep it going. You keep
Roll
it
with
moving.
it. Well, the big question, though, that I'm sure a few people are wondering, money. Okay, you're in this fancy theater.
Yeah.
There's no way my family can afford this. Or, let's talk about money and costs. And
Well, we try to make the programming affordable for everyone.
Yes.
it's more than affordable by what you said.
Yes, and there's different times that we offer discounts. We have family pricing. We have scholarships available. We raise and work really hard to support the program by any means that we can, so that we can keep pricing affordable.
Well, a couple of them, weren't you saying, was like $2 and $10, and I mean
Per hour,
yeah, per hour.
And it's always based on the average hours, because not all kids are here for the same amount of time necessarily for every program. Show choir is a program where everyone is there all the time, the same amount of time.
Right.
But in a lot of the productions and things, sometimes it's only certain groups of kids or different things. So we really try to take averages so that it's very equitably divided.
But the cool thing within that what they do is they get voice lessons, they get dance lessons, they get acting lessons, they get directions on props, leadership. We have our leadership program that we should talk about, because that's amazing.
Yes.
But we really try and make it affordable for anybody that wants to do, accessible to anybody that wants to do theater.
Well, and that's important. So if your parents are watching this and you have questions, you're thinking, great, my biggest thing is, well, how much? You know, nobody wants to talk about what the two, sex and money.
But we don't talk about that here.
Yeah, but we will talk about money because it is affordable, and we can always use volunteers. So maybe there's, you know, so reach out and ask. Don't be afraid to ask. You have to be your child's advocate. If you're interested, ask. We'll figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah. Well, and we're so blessed. We have over 10,000 volunteer hours a year. I mean, like I always say, you know, we're a community, and like I don't say that lightly because we could not do it without all of the help we have, and like anybody who wants to be involved, like we love that it's not just like a thing you drop your kid off at. You know, it can be if you want that, if that's what you want in your life. But if you want to be more involved, we're like super open to that.
And the kids love when you're involved.
They do.
Too.
Kids love that.
But back to the money too. If you're a business person or somebody that is looking for something, this is a great place to help.
Yep.
We take all the help we can get because we don't believe in sending our kids out to fundraise and go door to door selling pizzas and things like that. We really try and have the kids focus on their acting and their singing and their life skills. And so we have 30% is usually our program cost, 30% ticket, but then we have to raise the rest of the money through donations, donors, sponsorships, foundations, family foundations, things like that. So yes,
I was just going to get into that because when we were talking about the money was, you know, if you are a business, whether you don't have to be in White Bear Lake, but if you're anyone in the Twin Cities and beyond that would benefit from partnering with us as a donor, there's so many ways to be involved, get some visibility back, and really make a difference in a lot of kids' lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and in-kind donations too. Not
Right.
just, I mean, money is all, obviously, you know.
Cash works.
Yes.
It's always the easiest, but
Right.
Yeah.
But things like we have to build set, we have to give kids snacks, we have to, I mean, and our money goes to the kids.
Right.
Everything we do is for the kids and to make them better citizens of the world.
Yeah, we are totally a nonprofit in every sense of the word.
Yes,
there is.
Performing Arts is definitely a nonprofit
organization. I mean, we are, you know, blessed and profitable in love and support.
Right.
Monetarily, we are definitely a nonprofit, and we love your help in any way you can give it.
Well, and like they mentioned with props and sets, and when we're doing, and sometimes we'll be for a grand opening, you know, with the food, or if there's anything, even tchotchkes that you want to be a part of, and to help, there's always visibility in our program books, buying ads. Talk about the donor wall.
We have a beautiful children's performing arts wing here in the Performing Arts Center, and in our wing we have a huge sky midnight blue wall that's going to have silver stars on it, and you can have your name on a star and be a part of our opening act. So if you're interested, definitely give us a call. We can walk you, if you're interested in a tour of the building. Or another thing that we need help with is we have some board positions available because we are growing. We went from a small basically one performance, one camp to a year-round programming. So we went from an 8-person board to 15. So we have some board positions. So if you have any desire to be part of our board and a part of our growth and part of the development of something.
The infancy stage in a way, and now that we're in this new beautiful theater at Hannaford Performing Arts Center. And what initially attracted me to CPA, it was recommended that I meet with Sharon and Carrie, was the leadership piece of it. Because of Leaders and Achievers of America, my youth program, they just was kind of a seamless tie, and it's been really fun because given my performing arts background to be here. If you are just tuning in, my name is Carla Berling from Around Town TV. We are live at the new Hannaford Performing Arts Center, and which is our new home for children's performing arts, and we're really wanting to get the information out. Some people will say, in fact, there was a nice young lady in here when I first was setting up the equipment who said, "Oh yeah, children's performing arts, isn't that in Forest Lake?" And I was like, it was, but you were actually in the new home of children's performing arts. So if you've got questions, or you've heard of it, or you've never heard of it, maybe you have a grandchild, maybe you have a child of your own or a friend or a neighbor that you know would be perfect for children's performing arts. You know, someone in the northern suburb cities or the northeastern cities, Minneapolis would be a good candidate to be a part of the various programs. Very affordable, a lot of opportunities for teamwork, leadership, self-confidence from all the different performing arts skills, from show choir to Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor that we're going to be doing, which is the first time that we've done a higher end performance. So we're really excited about that. But we also have a lot of committees and a lot of ways to get involved if you don't have time to be on the board, but maybe you want to be a part of our gala. Or you've got a marketing, or you own a company that would be good visibility. You know, we are looking for any and all support, from students to donors to partners in terms of advertising and marketing as well. Yes. So, any other thanks? Lisa's tuned in. Ruth, David, Elizabeth. Hi, Mike. Any questions for us that we maybe haven't answered? Please, chime in. Maybe you know of someone who's been in the program. And that's another thing. Go to Children's Performing Arts page on Facebook and check out the reviews. Impressive. Very impressive. Blows me away. And because when I jumped in, I met Carrie and Sharon and immediately wanted to be somehow involved with them. I'm like, all right, I like you both and this is cool and I want to do this. And then you go, oh wait, what did I just commit myself to? And then as I got to know everybody,
the story about
as I'm driving away. But then every time I've gone to a board meeting or a committee meeting, it's like, oh, I just love this group. These are top-notch leaders in the community already who are, that's who you want your children with. Kind, successful leaders of the community that are giving back to your children, and really, truly, they are giving back almost as volunteers. Because you do. You give triple what your little money you do make. So, anything else I haven't touched on?
Well, one of the newest things that we've had a leadership program for a while now. We have in our legacy program, which is our program that starts in September, and we have the program in February.
In Forest Lake.
In Forest Lake, yep, and that will stay there. So we have about 100 kids, almost 100 kids in that program. We have kindergarten through second grade in there. We have 3rd through 6th, and then we have our leadership program, which is our junior directors, which is 7th through high school. And we are actually expanding on that one. So we have our leadership program and this production that we do in Forest Lake, but next fall we're going to be having a spotlight on a cause, and we have one cool thing is we have an author that we're working with, a Minnesota author who wrote a children's book, Jelly Bean and Jelly Bean, the Cheetah, and Hope. And she's creating that into a play for us, and we're going to be performing that. And but part of the leadership program is we're also going to be raising money for a cause and teaching kids that there's a global community out there, and how can they be a part of it. And so we're going to be helping kids work and figuring out a way to raise money for H2O for Life.
Wow.
WADA for Life. And so that's going to be part of our program that's coming in the fall, which is a key part of who we are as a community, as an organization. So yeah, if you're interested in that, that'll be, I don't think it's up on the website yet.
It's not up yet, but it's going to come soon.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Every year we're going to have a spotlight on a cause. This year it's H2O for Life, and we're doing an original play. Next year in 2019, our spotlight on a cause is dyslexia, and we're also a Minnesota author who wrote a book. We're going to be doing his play here too. So the authors are going to be here. We're going to have panel discussions. So there's going to be a lot of different things involved with that, and the kids are going to be raising money for a cause in some way. They have to come up with it. So, but we'll work with them. Yeah. And H2O for Life is going to help us facilitate it this year.
Interesting.
So yeah, they're a great organization.
I do have one question. Hi ladies, question. Are you associated with other performing arts theaters in Minneapolis and St. Paul, such as Illusion and Children's Theater in St. Paul?
No,
No.
I mean,
No.
we're working on doing some collaborative stuff with Lakeshore Players Theater that's also in the Hannaford Performing Arts Center.
But we are separate from them.
Right.
So a lot of people think we're the same. Well, they'll say, "Oh yeah, you're Lakeshore Play." No,
No.
we're not Lakeshore Players. We are Children's Performing Arts Center.
We're two organizations that share the same space. So Lakeshore Players Theater and Children's Performing Arts are in the Hannaford Performing Arts Center, and we are our own entity. We aren't associated with Children's Theater in Minneapolis or Illusions or any of those out there. So great programs.
Right. Oh yeah.
They,
Definitely.
and everybody, they serve the purpose of the community as well. There's not enough. There's not
Right.
enough
There
programs out
aren't
there.
enough organizations.
There's not enough. I mean, we're blessed to be part of the theater community. We're our own organization, but you know, one of the things that I've loved with working with nonprofit and in theater is everybody we all sort of work together in our own weird way. We're all our little own islands, but it's like, hey, I need a prop for suddenly like some prop will appear, you know, from
Costume
a friend.
or can you, where did you get
Yeah, where did you-
resources?
yeah.
We share the
Who designed that? You know, it all sort of works together. It's a really nice collaborative community.
So if you're somebody who maybe is just tuning in, my name is Carla Berlin from Around Town TV, and we are coming to you live from the new Hannaford Performing Arts Center, talking about children's performing arts and the organization. And I have with me Sharon Hannafeld Lee, Carrie Bullion, and Melissa Niederkorn, all board members. Those two are both employees, and they work tirelessly. Well, everybody works tirelessly before, during, and after around the clock, just really bringing you a variety of programs for your kids, grades K through 12, and from show choirs to, we've got Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor coming up. And one thing that you may, if you're kind of intrigued, but you're like to learn more, we have our open house coming up for the Celebrate the Grand Opening in
April 14th, it's a Saturday.
Yep.
2 to 6 p.m.
So
We'll
what
have
about?
so many things going on. There's going to be things in every single room of the Performing Arts Center, and we'll have shows and demonstrations and classes, and it'll be.
Come meet us, come say hi and get to know us, and then we can explain some of the different programming. And if you are, I do a lot with some of the White Bear Lake businesses in downtown White Bear Lake. So if you've been featured on Around Town, or you're part of our Explore White Bear Lake edition, come and say hi and find out how we can cross-promote one another. And if you know of somebody else that maybe would be a good donor or would maybe want to get involved in our board or a committee, we're always looking for that as well. I don't have any children in that are part of Children's Performing Arts. Well, they're all our children, right? But each one of these, three ladies here do have children involved, and the impact is just amazing. Our kids, we're seeing all of these crazy things going on, and all of the fighting and bickering, even on Facebook, from guns. Part of it is just get them active, help them be mentored into leaders, show them, teach them those skills for life. And performing arts isn't just about the actual performing arts piece of it. It's teamwork. It's learning how to get along with others. You might not be an athlete, or maybe you are. A lot of athletes are in dancing and piano and performing arts. Some of the best athletes, as a matter of fact. But maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you're into band. Maybe you're none of the above. Maybe you're into public speaking, but you have an interest. You don't have to have any experience. We will work with you, and there are programs for everybody. It's all about inclusion as well in this organization. Anything else that we maybe touched on at the beginning that we should reiterate here? We've got a lot of people that have just jumped online.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Nice. Hi, friends. Anyone who wants a shout out, feel free to leave a comment. We'll shout out
we're
to
an
you.
educational leadership program through the performing arts, and I got involved because I had a daughter who was interested. But you have kids that.
Yeah, Carrie's got. Actually, we haven't touched on Carrie's story.
My thing is I went to college and I was shocked. We had to take speech. It was required as part of our degree that everyone had to be in the speech class, and there was 25 kids in the class, and people were freaked out to stand up in front of people and just give a short speech. I mean, it was, and I just couldn't believe that these kids had never stood up in front of people, ever done a speech. I mean, in my schooling, that was part of our, doing it. But I had also been in dance my whole life and danced in front of people, and I said, I am going to make sure that my kids at least are willing to get up on stage and sing and dance. They never wanted to do it. They didn't want to be in lead roles, but I wanted them to be comfortable on the stage so that when they went into a work environment or in school or whatever, that they could stand in front of people and talk, because that's a really important life skill, no matter what your profession is or what you decide to do with your life.
Well, and not everyone, I am one who is tone deaf, and it just dawned on me just a few years ago, believe it or not, a little slow. I looked at my parents and I said, when I thought I was the special one in 5th grade in choir, and she had me wear the little rubber thing and change the, that was because I'm the one who likes to perform and can't. And they're like, they kind of went like this. They looked down. And I was like, but she made me feel special. She found a spot for me. Because I did like to perform and I had no talent. There's a reason I was a twirler. Before I was going to interrupt because that gal who had asked that question did say thank you. The one about associated with the theater. She said thank you. They are a great group, and her sister-in-law is the educational director at Illusion and might want to connect with us.
That would be amazing.
We would love it. We would love it, Elizabeth, Liz. So thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, Randy.
Thank you.
He's tuning in. Yeah. Appreciate everybody that's been tuning in and is interested. You're not asking a lot of questions, so if you want, private message any one of us, depending, we're streaming on all of our pages. So if there's somebody that you know or you're comfortable with better than the other, feel free to private message us. We will get back to you. This is all about the kids.
Or if you think of questions later, that happens too.
Yeah, totally. If you think of something, you can totally head to our website. You can message us on Facebook, where we'll answer all that stuff.
Well, and one of my favorite stories when we're talking is, I call it my dragon story.
Oh, yes.
I love this story because it is why I do what I do, and I love what I do, and I'm so passionate about it. So we did Mulan a few years ago, and in between for scene changes, the director had a dragon come through the audience, and some of the kids, like we said, we've tried to find a spot for every kid and make them feel important. Because it is. Every role in the production, you can't have the production without everybody involved. Right. And so there were some kids that held the sticks. There was 10 kids that held the stick for the dragon, and they go back and forth.
And is the Chinese dragon like what you see in a parade?
Yeah, like a
really
big, long, heavy Chinese dragon.
Yeah. So the cool thing is when they would, the first time they came in, everybody in the audience went, whoa.
It was so cool.
And so I was standing, usually when I usually kind of stand in the back of the audience and see if there's anything I need to do. And I was standing there, and there's a gentleman standing next to me, and I look and I see the dragon come in, and everybody goes, wow, cool. And there's this one girl, and this girl that's in there, she was one of the kids on scholarship, and she had, she'd come and her hair would be messed up, and her shorts, pants would be a little short, and the father's a little short to the front desk staff, but come to find out her mom was sick. And, which, it breaks your heart, but when I was standing there, there was this gentleman here, I couldn't really see, it was dark, and I was paying attention to what the kids were doing. This girl came in, and she had the biggest, proudest smile on her face, and then I look over, and this gentleman has that same smile, and they are looking at each other, and the pride that he had in her, and that she had in herself, it was, I have goosebumps telling this story, because it is why I continue to do it, because we gave something to that family that they didn't have at that point in time,
and probably couldn't get anywhere else.
Yes, and it gets their mind probably off the obvious, coming from a family, and many of you know my mom is terminally ill, and she actually will be on my show in April on her birthday, April 17th, and talk about her book, and it is tough. It's nice, when they do have help, and where my mom is right now at home, and she's doing great right now, but it's nice to be able to go and be involved and make a difference in the community, knowing she's okay, but it also gets your mind off the obvious. It really does.
Well, that's that community, being part of a village. As the It Takes a Village, there's been, that story always just makes, I remember when that dragon walked in that crowd, it was blew me away. It was so good. And there's been other, instances over the years where there's been tough family situations or tough things at home, and it's so great to be part of something where our whole community, I feel like everybody rallies. The kids are even if they don't know what's going on, sometimes you can tell someone's down or something, and you feel the kids kind of go, hey, it's part of this thing. come in here.
Jesse Vernon Magnuson
Yes.
said, "Hi, ladies. I just listen to this. I just want to say that CPA has been so good for my daughter Lauren these last 2 years.
Aww.
She has learned so much from you all, and her confidence has grown so much. She
Aww.
recently auditioned for her middle school talent show and made it.
Yay.
Only 30 spots for the entire school. She couldn't
good.
have done it without all of you. Thank you for
Oh,
all."
I'm gonna cry. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
know, I've got
Oh,
Thank you for sharing that, because
appreciate
it makes it worth all of our efforts. Just
Yeah.
it reiterates that we're doing this is why we do what we do.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you, John, for tuning in, Brian, and Jody. We appreciate those who are tuning in who may have questions. If you're interested in more on children's performing arts, the website is children'sperformingarts.
MN.org.
MN.org.
Yep.
And I want to say too that we've talked about how we include every kid. I'm not talking about just every kid. We also have kids that are fantastic, amazing performers, amazing talent, incredible singers. And so there is truly something for the kids that are way up here
Right.
and the kids that have never done it before.
Yeah, that's what impressed me.
And we have different, how do you explain that, where you have different we have different
Rotations.
rotations.
So the kids stay busy. So many theater groups, the only way they can facilitate their lessons or programming, and it's not all of them, but it's very much you sit and wait till it's your turn to learn something. And we are going to keep everyone as busy as we can, as much as we can. And so we have like 3 classes going on at a time, and we rotate every 25 minutes, or even when we have a smaller program, we tag team it, or we do our best. I mean, there's always going to be a time where a kid might have to sit and wait their turn, especially once you're running a show, because not every kid is always on stage. But during the learning process, almost everybody is almost always learning something.
All the time. Well, we had another beautiful comment from Heather Thornton Witcher, I think her name is. You do an amazing job.
Aw,
Thank you, Heather. We appreciate people who are sharing their experiences as well. It is. You are not like any other theater performing arts center out there. You are unique in so many senses. It's the people. It's the people involved. I know my parents were the type that if I lived in Chaska, they would have driven across the cities to make sure that I could be a part of a program like this. And for me, it's just cool. I was twirling my baton around saying, if only I would have had a place to be like this, because our little dance studio was this little, literally a tin thing, and it was in a house, and which was great. I didn't know any better, but what an opportunity, and the price, it's affordable. There is a spot for everyone.
And you're going to teach a twirling class, right?
Well, we were
Right,
threatening, and I do have the bug, so we'll see, being 50 and a half.
You should do it.
Yeah, so it was funny because being around the performing arts people this weekend, I would always say, when I see these little kids running around, gosh, I used to say, I could be your mom. And then one little girl said something to me, and I said, gosh, I could probably be your grandma. She goes, yeah, my grandma's 49.
Oh.
And I said, well, I'm 50 and a half. And she goes, wow, that's old. I was like, that is old. So, no, I don't know. Being that age, that's why I'm saying that the body doesn't always move like it used to.
You were still twirling out there.
Yeah.
We saw it.
As you can see, there were no blankets or splits. Or the other day, I actually did a face plant in the parking lot coming out of a board meeting, and I'm still recovering. Still recovering.
No
yeah,
injuries.
but before we close the show, is there anything else that any of you would like to say about any stories? We do have a sign up for Joseph, right? Coming up right now.
Yes,
Both summer
yes,
and
it's
fall.
registration right now, and the auditions are the 24th.
Okay.
For Joseph.
Of April. Or
No, March.
March.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
is that
talk
this
about
Sunday?
that.
Saturday. Yep, Saturday.
But if you can't make that,
Yeah,
give
totally.
us a call.
Yeah, let us
As long as you can do it before the end of the month, and even afterwards, we might be able to float some people in. But
Yeah, we do
Okay,
that.
so auditions for that, and then summer programs people are signing up for. Get
Yep.
signed up now.
Yeah.
Get your spot, figure it out, get things situated so that you're going to have a wonderful summer. Your children are, well, maybe you're working or whatever else you have going on.
And I want to say that we grew up in Forest Lake. This program grew up in
Yes.
Forest Lake. We are still staying in Forest Lake.
Yep.
We are just expanding into the White Bear, even Hugo area, and we're so excited to be part of this community.
Yes.
Hugo and White Bear have been open arms. They have been
Unbelievable.
so welcoming,
Yeah.
so grateful. So we're so grateful to them to welcome us into this community, and we're excited to partner and be a part of this community and give back.
They've also been a little too. There's one of the businesses in town who I've reached out to a couple times, and recently in the last month, and both times he was on vacation, and he took my call. I'm like, you're not supposed to take my call on vacation, Willow? And it just like, that's how wonderful they've been to us, and people and supportive. And we want to be able to give back to you as well. So, you know, just know that we'll reciprocate that.
Absolutely.
And anything else that I missed? Questions or I do have one. I've had a few people ask me about rental of your theater.
Oh,
For
Yes,
their events.
we definitely have rental rates. It's for profit, it's nonprofit, depending on what you're doing. So contact us, and we can give you a tour of the place.
Yeah.
State of the art.
We've got a 250 seat theater, and there's a black box which is 72 seats.
Yep.
About depending on how you arrange
How
it.
you're going to use it. Yep.
Yep. There's the CPA classrooms that has. There's a divider, so it can be a big room or divided.
A conference room.
A conference room. So there's there's this beautiful lobby that we're in. Lakeshore Players did an amazing job designing this building, and we're excited to be part of this as well.
Yeah. So
Just
anything else that
pinch
you can
us.
think of?
Yeah, just pinch us.
We are.
Well, and
Through
Lakeshore
this whole
Players has
process,
been
yes.
has
Lakeshore
been
has
around
been-
for about 65 years now.
Yeah.
And they're a big part of this White Bear Lake community.
Yes.
And it's because of the White Bear Lake community and surrounding communities that we have this wonderful theater, because they all got behind it,
Yeah.
and very supportive of the arts.
It's amazing.
We're now in
Unbelievable.
the arts district.
Yeah.
So we've got White Bear Center for the Arts right next door.
Who's been featured on Around Town.
And a wonderful facility, and then we're here with Lakeshore Players, and we got involved with Lakeshore Players because we have similar missions to give back to the community.
Yep,
and how we relate to the community. So we're so happy to have an alliance with them and be with them. They've been so supportive and amazing, and they have incredible advice for us, and yeah, we're excited to work with them and in the same building as them. But we are separate entities.
We're separate entities,
yes,
but
that are sharing the same space.
Right, and with that said, though, we do have a great alliance. But again, a lot of people don't realize that our brand is a completely separate organization, just sharing the space here. So we're always looking for people to get involved with us as well, and more than welcome. Oh my gosh, hi Sally. Sally was a baton twirler with me.
Oh, perfect.
I am in White Bear Lake. And Kate, my friend Kate's watching from Florida. She's
Oh man, she's got better weather than us.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, we're
she
jealous.
does. We're talking Children's Performing Arts Center, and we are in the new Hannaford Center for the Arts. I know. Blah, blah, blah. Before I close, I know I said this a few times, and then we have people jump back on. Is there anything else that we've talked about rental? We've talked about donors, board members getting involved, people, of course, your students involved with us in the performing arts side of things, from show choir to the theater to leadership opportunities. Please go to their website, Children's Performing Arts.
Follow us on Facebook,
Follow us on
Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram.
Send us your email and we'll add you to our email list so you know what's happening and when.
Yeah, come watch some of our performances.
Basically, the door is open. Just
Yes.
reach out to us, and we will.
We want to be your friend.
Oh yeah, we want to be friends.
Our performances are for age 2 to 102.
Yep.
We're like Disney. We're for everybody.
Family friendly.
Yes, we are, and it's top-notch quality performances, costumes. You definitely will not be disappointed. So please reach out. Is there an email? Is it info at?
Yeah,
Yes.
info at Children's Performing Arts.
That'll get you to whoever you need to talk to.
Yep. All you got to do is ask a question, and we will figure out where it needs to go and who needs to answer it, and make that happen. Yep.
But we appreciate you tuning in to the Children's Performing Arts edition of Around Town TV, coming to you live from the Hannaford Performing Arts Center. Next Tuesday, we will be live again at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so please tune in. This will be posted, though, so if you're just tuned in or you were missing part of it, you will get to watch all of it. We appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, we have Melissa Niederkorn with us, Carrie Bullion, and Sharon Hannaford Lee, and my name is Carla Berlin, and we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.